Welcome back, Benchwarmers. Week 3 is already here. It's going too fast.
Yeah, when it comes to the NFL football, we only get 17 games to enjoy.
I'm trying to slow down and watch as much as I can.
Us going over it every week keeps you engaged, though, right?
Yeah, that's true. Well, let's jump into the games of the week, according to us at least. I'm Brendan. Go Cards.
I'm Corey. Tighten up. This is our view from the bench.
Before we get started, if not already, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you never miss any one of the new episodes.
Also, if you could please do us the favor, if you like what you see or hear, please don't forget to smash that like button.
Smash it for us. Come on, it's free. It's free for you. It's free for us. Helps out the channel a lot more than you probably think.
Hell yeah.
All right, man. Week 3. Damn, dude. I feel like we barely got through week 2, but you know what? Thursday Night Football's already on. It's Thursday when we're recording it. What's the score? I haven't even looked.
Oh, it's over. Miami blew it at the end. They were down 28-21, driving down to try to tie. Tua threw an interception. Buffalo came down, kicked the field goal up 10 with a minute. I think I was like 30 seconds left, so I turned it off. It was over.
I'll be honest with you. Without the field goal, it was basically a one-score game. Mm-hmm. I'm surprised, to be honest with you, because I thought it was going to be a lot worse. Having a player-only meeting after a 33-6 stomping in week 1, losing again in week 2, on the road in Buffalo. It was in Buffalo, I think, too.
Yes, it was.
I just thought it was going to be a lot worse. So I guess props to the Dolphins for keeping it close.
Yeah, absolutely. When I got home from work, my neighbor was in the parking lot, so we were walking back and talking. And he was like, yeah, well, they're going to get killed tonight. And I was like, wait, I don't even know who's playing tonight. He's like, oh, Buffalo, Miami. I was like, oh, man, it's not even going to be a good game. That sucks. And then I come in, it's 7-7, and it was a battle the whole way through. So, Thursday night.
Tied at half. And yeah.
Division games always are better, too. That just goes with it.
Yeah, very true. Very true. So, we're obviously not going to talk about that one too much because it already happened. But what we're doing right here is we picked 5 games and 2 upsets from each of us. Well, 1 upset from each of us, so 2 total. But we picked 5 games that we think are super interesting for week 3 for one sake of another, whether or not it's just 2 good teams going at it or if there might be some little bit of a storyline behind it. So let's jump into it. I'll take the first one because it is kind of in my division. And this is one that I actually am super excited for. It's a divisional round rematch from last year, or was it wild card? Yeah, okay, division. Oh, yeah, they beat the crap out of the freaking Vikings. That's right. Rams going back to Philly. No snow this time because it's just September, not January. So it should be a little bit more of a fair fight. And, they're not banged up. It's not Matt Stafford after 17 weeks. So we'll see how this one goes. But both teams are 2-0, and I'm super excited for this one. I think the spread was like 3.5 Eagles. So it's basically a pick 'em game. They're getting that 3.5 because of the home field advantage. But I'm looking forward to it. Before we get to the predictions, I'm just excited for a top-notch game already in week 3.
Yeah, and I think 2 teams 2-0. Again, you mentioned the rematch from the playoffs, and the last 11 games the Rams have played dating back to last season, they're 9-2. The 2 games they've lost were the Eagles in the regular season and the postseason. So there's kind of some bad blood here, and even in LA last year when they played in the regular season, that was again under dome or roof, so there's no snow. And Saquon ran all over them, and he did the same thing in the snow in January. So I don't know. Philly's really good. The defending champs. I didn't expect them to jump out 2-0 this easily. I figured, especially the Kansas City game, might be more of a slog, but they just looked really good. And Jalen Carter had that issue in game 1, but that hasn't been even the discussion since. So, yeah, the Eagles are the Eagles. And before the season started, you and I talked about there's 3 teams we think in the NFC that could win it all. And it was the Rams, the Eagles, and the Packers. All 3 teams are 2-0 and looking really good off the jump. So not really that unexpected, I guess.
Yeah, I totally agree. There's 2 caveats. One, I do think that the rushing attack from Saquon last year was just kind of one of those unprecedented things. I'm not saying he's not going to go off, but he was like on a mission to at least get 2,000 yards, if not break the rushing record, albeit with an extra game. And I just think that it's not as lethal this year. People are planning for it a little bit more. And the Eagles, while being 2-0 and have playing 2 decent teams, are off to and by decent, I mean it's the Cowboys, so it's a rivalry. That's what I mean. And honestly, they didn't look too bad last week. It's kind of one of those. It's like slow start, as I would say, for them. They're still run heavy. Jalen Hurts isn't dropping back too much. So if Matt Stafford's able to move the ball in this defense, because their secondary is way worse than it was. Losing C.J. Gardner-Johnson, as much as people will say whatever they want about him, is not good. They do have some pretty young guys in Quinion Mitchell, and I always forget this freaking guy's name, Cooper DeJean. But they're second-year guys, very talented. Obviously, Cooper with a pick 6 in the Super Bowl. So I guess we'll kind of see about that. And then the thing about for the Rams is their defense is a year older. Hopefully they won't get ran over as much. Matt Stafford early in the year is a lot more healthy than he is towards the end of the year. So I guess we'll kind of see how that plays out. But I think it's going to be a pretty close game.
Yep.
Who do you have winning?
Well, the other thing too, you mentioned like Eagles running game before I give my score.
Yeah,
The
sorry.
Rams brought in is it Puda Ford, the guy who's the
Yes,
nose tackle?
yes.
I think he hasn't been off to a good start yet, but they haven't really played a run heavy team like the Eagles with Saquon. So this might be the time that comes into effect. So maybe that's a difference maker for the Rams. But as far as the score goes, I do
That's a good point.
have the Eagles winning. They are at home. I just don't think the Rams are going to have quite enough when it comes down. Now, it is going to be close. I do have them right near the spread, though. I have the Eagles winning 24-20.
Okay. All right. Well, that's pretty good. I also, before I give my score, the a little thing, the Eagles are 2-0, but it was pretty tight in that Kansas City game. And I think the NFL came out today, or maybe it was yesterday, but came out
Yep.
and said that false start, right? That should have been called or something like that. So people got to kind of watch for that. I understand that the tush push is impossible to stop, especially for this team, actually almost exclusively for this team. And I actually am not a fan of outruling or outlawing it, whatever it would be called, ruling it out. but it's one of those things that you got to watch these intricacies. You can't just. I think they shouldn't be allowed to try to, and they shouldn't obviously be allowed to false start themselves. So, kind of a little caveat. They may not have been 2-0 if that was called correctly, but
True.
that's neither here nor there. They are in the win. They are 2-0. I, however, am running with LA. I think that they are pissed about those 2 losses of the last 11 games only coming to the Eagles. Like I mentioned before, I think the running game might be slowed down, especially since the Puna Ford, the guy that you mentioned, is going to be clogging up the middle. But I have it being close, but I have them actually covering the spread the reverse way. I got the Rams 23-17.
Okay, that's a big road win. McVay always, there was always that talk of like West Coast teams on the morning shift on the East Coast don't play. McVay doesn't seem to have that issue with his team, so I agree that they're going to be ready. So I wouldn't be shocked if they went in there and won. I just haven't fallen a little bit short.
All right. We were talking a little bit about the powerhouse NFC teams, and this is one of the games that I want to move to.
Mm-hmm.
If we have those 3 teams, the fourth one, in my opinion, and I think they could actually run away with it because they have such an easy division, they might be able to get that 1 seed and have home field throughout, is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're going for 3-0. They do host the Jets without Justin Fields, but I think the storyline here is really what Baker is doing with this team, man. I mean, ever since that one drive that he made for the Rams where they came back and won that game,
It's been a different
dude's been that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Literally revived his career in one drive. So,
the joke is if you're a coach and you've had coffee with Sean McVay, you're going to go get a job in the NFL. But
it's true.
Hey, Baker Mayfield literally had a cup of coffee with McVay as a coach, and then he's done nothing but win since. So
good for him too. It must have been Cleveland, huh?
Yeah, it's of all the things, it's kind of sad. Not even sitting there with a quarterback issue, but you had this guy in your wings and you didn't think he was good enough, and you let him go basically for nothing. So good job,
Pretty
Browns.
much.
Way to go.
Pretty much. So I think the Bucks are gonna do well. I don't think it's gonna be too big of a thing because the Jets defense will kind of keep them in the game. I'm not quite sure with Tyrod Taylor, although a good quarterback. I'm not quite sure what Tyrod Taylor is going to do with this offense. Obviously, Justin Fields got a ton of the reps. They put up a ton of points against the Steelers, but lost. And I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure. I do have the Bucks. Emeka Egbuka looks great. Obviously, Mike Evans is awesome. Bucky Evans and Rachaad White both have the backfield. Rachaad White had an insane game last week, and he's the number 2 guy. They've got freaking – when does he's not here yet, but when does what's his name come back? The other receiver, I can't remember his name.
Godwin, is that what you're thinking of?
Yes, Chris Godwin.
I don't know. I think he was on the IR, so it's going to be at least 4 weeks, I think.
Okay.
So
all right.
Go from there.
But either way, Baker's rolling. He's just got that team. He's just like that hard-nosed, like, let's go get it kind of player. And I love it. I love it.
Honestly, I'm with you. I am a huge Baker fan. I always go back to my favorite clip of him is in college when he was at Oklahoma and they played Kansas and they're at the 50-yard line pregame and he goes to shake hands. The guy shakes no hands. He claps and then he goes out and kicks the shit out of them, grabbing himself on the sideline, talking shit. I love it. Loved every minute of it. And I'm with you. Baker's one of those guys that everyone rallies with him. They okay, man, if you're the leader, let's go with you. We're going to ride it. And as long as the game is within a touchdown at the end and Baker and Bucks have the ball, they have a chance to at least drive down and tie it or win the game. They're not always going to be in the game. Baker's he might be a little aggressive and throw the ball into some interceptions that you might not want to, but because he's that aggressive, that's why they're even that good in the first place. Like he's got a little bit of Brett Favre in him, where he's
you need that
stinger, but he needs it. He uses it in a good way, and most of the time it doesn't come to bite him. Occasionally that happens, but I think Tampa, 2-0 for the 5th straight year as a franchise, that's what I think is the longest streak in the NFL at the moment. And again, Baker's back. You mentioned Evans, Godwin's there. Like they're all there, and Bowles is coaching. They got something down there, and with all the other teams in the NFC we've already talked about, Rams, Packers, and Eagles, they, like you said, they can just kind of do their thing if they win all 6 division games, which shouldn't be that hard to do.
No,
I'm not against your thought of them sneaking up and getting that 1 seed in the NFC. It's very possible.
exactly. Eagles have the Commanders, the feisty Cowboys, and just Giants play everybody tough. Obviously, the NFC North is loaded, even though the Bears haven't looked as good as we thought they might start. But it's two games. So okay.
Oh, somebody dying.
So, anyways, did they have a good chance to kind of run the table in their own division and try to get that 1 seed? So
Okay,
I have them.
Oh, okay, go ahead. I was going
to say I have them taking this game kind of handily, I guess you can say, just because I don't think that the Jets will be able to put up points. I don't have them passing 30 themselves, 27-13.
Okay, all right, not bad. I'm kind of in the same ballpark. I have 23-10 Tampa. I just think the Bucs at home is a different entity there. As I think their defense is going to play well, and no Justin Fields. That kind of throws New York. I know Tyrod Taylor's been there the whole campaign, but you just don't know what to expect from him. And I think in his first game, and I don't even know how. God, the last time I think I remember him being on a field is when he got punctured in his lung by the doctor for the Chargers.
Dude, that's so sad, bro.
Yeah, so it's been a while since I've seen him or thought of him on the field, but I don't know. I just think the Jets aren't going to be ready for them.
Totally agree. We'll stay in the NFC. We'll stay in a.
I know.
Not stay.
Yeah, you're going to go to your division again. I know.
Yeah, NFC West moving over here. This is the reason why I think this is crazy is because now, granted, the Cardinals played the Saints and the Panthers, so being 2-0 isn't necessarily that big of a deal. But the Niners played the Seahawks and the Saints, so it's not like they've battled the top of the division either or top of the league either. Cardinals at Niners this Sunday. Cardinals are underdogs, but not by too much. I think it's 3.5 or 2.5, something like that. It's not a ton. But they're both 2-0, obviously tied with the Rams for the division lead. Seahawks are 1-1, the only team, but somebody had to lose the Seahawks-Niners game, so one of them was going to be 1-1. Couldn't all be 2-0. And I'm just super excited. I think they have something to prove. I think that they would just not be the punching bag of the division. You know what I mean? Let's not be the Browns. Let's not be, what used to be the Lions. Let's not be the Panthers. You know what I mean? Let's not be the people at the bottom. The Raiders, no offense. Let's not be them. And so I think, a bunch of a bunch of picks this year were spent on defense. We have a defensive head coach. Brock Purdy is either hurt or we're playing Mac Jones. This is the opportunity to try to get up on them. And the loser goes to 2-1, and the winner goes to 3-0. And 3-0 is a lot better than 2-1, although 2-1 ain't bad. And I'm just, I think we got something to prove. Also, before you go, I think I'm gonna go watch it with my sister, who's a Niner fan. So down to win, down to win. What do you see, bro?
Yeah, I'm with you. This is a big game. Who would have thought that after 2 weeks we'd have 3 teams in the NFC West 3-0? I mean, if you would have said Niners, Rams, I would have said yeah, but Cardinals. But as you mentioned, playing the Panthers and the Saints helps a little bit. I think this Cardinal team has a little bit of. They're kind of in a weird way, not just because they're from Arizona, but they kind of remind me of the Diamondbacks a couple years ago when Torey Lovullo finally told the team, like, "Are you guys tired of being the little brother to the Dodgers and then just beating you all the time, like just taking it?" And then they went out and swept them in the playoffs that year. So I think this is Kyler's year. I think they're ready. And you mentioned the defense has been better over time with the coach there. They've got Marvin Harrison Jr., Trey McBride, James Conner. Like, they've got weapons for Murray. They just need to put it all together. So far, so good. And, Brock Purdy hurt or Mac Jones is definitely a plus for the Cardinals. I, for some reason, think the Cardinals are going to go into San Francisco and sneak out of there with a win. The Rams are going to lose, and the Cardinals are going to be 3-0 at the top of the NFC West.
Yeah, you did pick the Rams to lose. That's right, man. I mean, after 3 weeks is not much, but hey, I'll take a first place placeholder for the time being.
All right. So
then how do you have it going?
Say you have them winning, I know, because they're your Cardinals, but I do too.
Yeah.
But what's your score first before I give mine?
I've got it really close. I don't think it's going to be. I mean, Kyle Shanahan is still good. Mac Jones looked elite last week. He had 3 touchdowns, no picks. I get it. It was against the Saints, but it's still a professional NFL team.
Mm-hmm.
And Christian McCaffrey is not hurt, and that's the main piece. I get that George Kittle is out, and that is a huge piece. But basically having McCaffrey there means Shanahan gets to run his offense exactly how he wants to.
Yep.
And he's proven that he can kind of make any quarterback. He's kind of like the Kevin O'Connell, Sean McVay style. Like, yeah, Jimmy Garoppolo, yeah, let's go to the Super Bowl. Brock Purdy, sure, let's go to the Super Bowl. Mac Jones, yeah, let's have him go 3 touchdowns, no picks for like 300 yards. Why not? So I have them winning, but I have them winning slightly, 27-24.
Okay, you have a little closer than I do. I do have the Cardinals ultimately winning 23-17. But again, nothing out of control. Again, it's division opponents. They know each other very well. The coaching staff is the same the last couple of years, so should be close. But I do have the Cardinals coming into San Francisco or wherever the hell they're playing, and
Santa Clara.
Yeah, Santa Clara. That's where it's at. I've been there 3 times. I couldn't remember the name of the city.
I know I've never been there,
I know. It makes no sense.
you can't remember. All right, next thing we've got is a split of divisions. Actually, this is the Monday night game. Really looking forward to this one. Lions Ravens is on the books. Two teams, both in the top of the league in essence, not necessarily in record right now. They're both 1-1, but they are both one of those teams. They're each of them is one of the teams that is kind of primed to definitely make the playoffs, except according to you. And
I was gonna say, except for me on the Lions.
definitely make the playoffs, and if not, kind of push forward. Maybe not Super Bowl bound, especially for the Lions. I kind of think that their Super Bowl window's over, but I don't think they're out of the playoffs quite yet. So, but both of them are trying to avoid a 1-2. 2-1 is a lot better than 1-2, and so I just kind of have this one being a highlight game. And again, it's Monday night, so you get to enjoy it.
Definitely helps. I think, as we mentioned, I've picked the Lions to be 4th in the NFC North when we did our previews. They looked better last week at home. I get it; it's their second week, but I don't feel good
about
those
them. Bears that you had doing good.
I know that kind of there, but I just, for some reason, the Ravens are the team that they always do well in the regular season, get 12 wins, and then they blow it in the playoffs. So I'm not expecting that Raven team to show up yet until January. So right now, I expect the Ravens to take care of business. They know that not only are the Steelers already 2-0, Joe Burrow's out for 3 months, so take the opportunity, excuse me, to get some ground on the Bengals, and the Browns don't exist as far as I'm concerned in the standings. So, but if the Steelers are already 2-0 and you go down 1-2, and the Steelers are possibly going to be 3-0 after this week.
Wait, Steelers or Bengals?
No, the Steelers. Like if the Steelers are 3-0 and they get out of there, and you're the Ravens and you're 1-2 after losing to the Lions, possibly, that's not good. So you got to really be careful if you're the Ravens. You cannot blow it, but that's kind of what they do, also. So I'm a little worried, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying. But I'm not worried necessarily about the the Steelers are 1-1. That's why I was confused.
Oh, really? I thought they were 2-0. Why did
they lost last week?
Seattle. Huh?
Yeah.
Dang, they should
game.
All right, never mind. Ravens are going to be fine.
But the Bengals are 2-0. That's why I was like, you're talking about the Bengals, right? I had to go double check to make sure I wasn't tripping.
I totally flopped that. I was thinking, you know what? Because Burrow was out last week for my fantasy, and it totally ruined me. So I'm hating the Bengals right now. I'm just
got you. But they still are 2-0. So either way, yeah, they have a tough one this week in Minnesota. Ooh. But I do think that the tougher of the teams both playing the NFC North same week. That's funny.
Interesting.
AFC versus NFC North. So I have this one actually being pretty high scoring. I don't think that the Lions are dropping 50 on the Ravens, but the Ravens defense hasn't been as good as it was. I mean, the Bills were able to drop 40-ish, 40 plus to win that game, come back late to win that game. So I don't think the Ravens are like showstoppers. This isn't like a Steelers-Ravens game where it's going to be 6-3, right, kind of thing. But I do have the Ravens coming in on top. I have them winning a shootout, I guess you can say, 34-31.
Wow. Okay. I have high scoring for the Ravens, not so much the Lions. Somebody put this perfectly the other day, I think. You know how like they say the good players elevate or rise all tides and bring the rest of the team up? Goff is the opposite. If everybody else is good around him, Goff rises to that level and is great. But if everybody else struggles or it's a hard game and it's not a perfectly designed and organized offense that is clean, Goff gets lost and confused, and it's just a rough day. And the Ravens' defense is going to make his day really hard. So I think the Ravens are going to get out of there 27-16.
Got you. Yeah, definitely not the Josh Allen. So I can see what you're saying there, which is exactly why you're talking to Sean McVay. That's why he got rid of. That's why he traded him for freaking Matt Stafford. So I get your point.
Absolutely.
It's not happening. It's not that bad. They're making the playoffs.
We're gonna find out.
All right. Before we get to our little quick upsets, let's wrap this up with another division matchup. Moving back over to the AFC completely. Broncos in LA to take on the Chargers. Chargers are looking pretty good so far. Yeah. Now, granted, one of the games is against the Raiders, but I think the Raiders are a lot better than a lot of people think this season. Agreed. Geno Smith kind of blew it towards the end there. Couldn't kind of get over the top. Chargers defense is looking stacked. But did they start 3-0 and 3-0 in the division? Chiefs, Raiders, then the Broncos?
Yeah.
I think that's kind of starting a little bit of a runaway, especially with the 0-2 Chiefs. Now, they kind of got a layup this week. They need to make sure that they kind of take care of business on Sunday night in New York. But still, 3-0 versus 1-2, a 2-game separation, and you beat them head-to-head already. The Chargers might start running away with the division title if they can kind of pull this one off at home against the Broncos. So the only thing that I think is really a problem right now. I think everything is hitting on all cylinders in LA except the run game.
Yeah.
Both Najee Harris and Omarion Hampton just aren't doing enough. Whether it's their fault or the line's fault or the scheme's fault or whatever, the run game is their weakness right now. But they've been able to light up pretty much anybody with Justin Herbert's arm. Now that he's got Keenan Allen back, Quinion Mitchell is like Quinion. What's his name? Not Johnston.
Yeah,
Quinion Johnston is like all of a sudden good. He was like really bad, then average, and all of a sudden he's like elite. And I just think I think they've got Lad McConkey. I forgot about that guy.
You say you missed the best one.
Yeah, pretty much. So I mean, I think their passing game is right on point. If they can get this running game going, they're going to be a really dangerous team because the defense is already stacked. Even though they did lose Khalil Mack, he's not the same Khalil Mack that he was in Vegas/Oakland. I don't know if they were in Vegas yet, but when he was traded. But yeah, so I just think that I think they're really, really good.
Yeah, and they talk about all the weapons they have. McConkey kind of reminds me a little bit of Cooper Kupp a little bit. He's like,
see that?
Kind of does a little bit of everything, and then you have Keenan Allen, and who was kind of not on the same talent level, but as far as the wide receiver positions, OBJ, who's the taller guy, you can throw the big shots down, and now you got Johnston, who's kind of that third guy that we didn't expect to be there, and is giving them more weapons. If the running game can get better, the Charger offense looks unstoppable. Now, Harbaugh just continues to, win. That's what he does everywhere he goes. When they went to the University of San Diego,
better than him?
Where it all started, University of San Diego, he turned them into something, and he just continues to do it. He's a culture guy. He's just one of those guys that brings everybody in on the same page, and they're all pulling the rope to the same direction. If the Chargers are 3-0, and as you mentioned, the Chiefs are possibly 0-3, and if the Raiders are 1-2, I mean the Chargers,
but starting to pull ahead early.
But this is what I'm afraid of every time, because I've been going to Charger games a long time. Obviously, you and I grew up in LA. We didn't have a team here for a long period of our life. So my dad every year would take me down to San Diego, and we go to a game. And this was LT and Antonio Gates. Like, I love going down. So I kind of became a semi-Chargers fan as like my second team. So I'm always rooting for them. But this is what happens. As soon as everyone starts paying attention, the Chargers, that's when they screw it up and they lose a game they shouldn't lose.
So like the Clippers, you're saying?
Yes, but not with any of the racist problems or the circumventing the cap issues that we're talking about recently. But yes, but if you think about it, Clippers are originally from San Diego too, so maybe it's a thing from San Diego. I don't know. Padres
but are any of those teams that you mentioned? Did any of them have Jim Harbaugh coaching them?
No, they didn't.
I'm just saying. That's from San Diego, like you mentioned, Stanford, San Fran, national championship at Michigan.
Yep.
All he does is win. It seems like so. I think this might be the year that I'm not saying they're winning the Super Bowl. No, I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying I think this is the year that they start stacking up some W's and surprising people. And it started with the complete domination that they had in week one. Yep. Granted, it's only week one, and it was their home game. That wasn't even their home game. But they didn't win by a lot of points against the Chiefs, but I watched the game, and it was pretty much controlled by the Chargers the entire way through. Yeah. So I just kind of have a feeling they're just controlling games, and they just know how to do it. If their run game gets control, oh my gosh, they're going to be really, really tough to beat.
Yeah, that's the scary thing. The running game hasn't even figured itself out yet. So that's just going to open up more things, the play action and everything else. And the biggest thing right now, I think, is a difference from last year to now is Herbert is healthy and can run. He doesn't have an ankle injury or anything like he did last year, where you could see if once he got out of the pocket, he was basically like, I'm just going to fall down because I can't run. But already in the first two games, you've seen him out of the pocket, moving and running. That first game in Kansas City, he gets that big third down and slides to
this cool slide. Yep.
Yeah, I know. Clinch. I mean, it was almost like Trey Turner cool slide. To clinch that game against Kansas City and Brazil. So if he can stay healthy and be able to continue to run and open up things like that, then the Chargers are going to be scary. Losing Khalil Mack hurts a little bit, but also he's at the back end, so maybe it's not as big a deal. And he's still going to be there, so morale-wise, it's not going to hurt that much.
So you have the Chargers winning?
Actually, I don't. This is where the Chargers do Charger things, and everyone expects them to go 3-0. And no, the Broncos are going to come in. Sean Payton's going to be ready, and somehow the Broncos are going to run out of there with a 28-13 win. They're going to get out of there with a 2-touchdown victory. That's just what.
Okay. Jeez. Okay, I have them charging forward with a 24-20 victory. I think the Chargers start 3-0 and 3-0 in division, but I do think it'll be close, man. The Broncos aren't a run over team.
No,
and even the Raiders held them in the 20s, so I don't think they're going to be scoring too high. But I do have them taking it 24-20.
All right, close game.
All right, well, that's kind of wrapping up our predictions here. However, before we get out of here, we got two more things. One, we're going to pick some upsets really quick. And then two, we'll go over a quick fantasy update of what happened through week 2 so far. Corey, give me your upset of the week.
So upset of the week, I know this may be weird because I'm a fan of the team, but I'm going Titans, who are a 4.5 point underdog at home to the Indianapolis Colts. Now, Indiana Jones, I know they're off to a hot start. Woo 2-0. The only reason I'm picking the Titans is because, one, the Titans and the Colts hate each other. They tend to split the season series every year, at least as long as I've been a fan for 26 or 27 years now. It seems how it always goes. But I think that this is one of those. The Titans are 0-2, Colts are 2-0. The Titans know if we lose 0 and go 0-3, like that's basically the season's over because it's hard to get to the playoffs at that point.
That's a big hole.
Not there's a lot of expectations of that with Cam Ward, a rookie quarterback, but it's a division opponent. We hate each other. We know they're on a high. They're coming on the road into Tennessee, and I feel like after that game against the Rams in the first half, the Titans were in it. They had a chance.
Yeah.
In mid-third, they kind of fell apart, which is what they do. But I think they're going to buckle some things up this week, and they're going to be ready for the Colts, and they're going to get their first win of the season against a division opponent.
All right. Nice.
I hope.
We'll see. All right. So I've got and I know this is going to be a little bit crazy, but maybe it's a battle of backup quarterbacks because we'll see if McCarthy's playing. But I've got the Bengals as 2.5 point underdogs going to Minnesota without Joe Burrow. Yeah. Jake Browning, though, 4-3 as a starter, got some great weapons. The defense actually has stepped it up a bit. Last week, they won them the game in Jacksonville. And McCarthy, if he does play, didn't really look that great last week. So, we're kind of seeing what he's doing. He's limping into it. I don't even know if he's going to play, but if he does, it's his third game. So I think that Jake Browning, while a backup, is still pretty good. I say the Bengals go into Minnesota and take a dub, move to 3-0.
Honestly, wouldn't be too shocked. Browning's been there a few years, and as you mentioned, he's got a winning record at filling in for Burrow as from before. So they'll be fine. It's just a matter of, as you said, is McCarthy playing? And if not, what the hell are the Vikings going to do? And But then again, they got Justin Jefferson, so whoever's throwing the ball, just throw it to him. Something good's going to happen.
There you go. Just call it a day. All right, let's wrap this one up then with some fantasy updates. Let me know how you did, bro. You got a Guillotine League and
Guillotine League week 2. I survived. So there was 17 teams left. I finished 13th this week. So I'm
better than you projected.
Yeah. Now I was lucky because I did have Joe Burrow, and he got injured early. So I thought for sure I was going to lose. But somebody else had 3 guys basically do nothing. So I'm okay. I survived. Now, in order to solve my quarterback problem moving forward, I picked up Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson. I don't know who I'm going to play yet, but those are the 2 best quarterbacks on the free agent waivers. So I am kind of screwed. I am projected to be 15 of 16 this week. So we'll see. I'm still near the bottom. I don't know.
They play the Patriots, so that's not the worst. You know?
Okay, and then who do the Giants play if I was going to play Russ? I didn't look at the matchups, but like I said, those are the 2 best quarterbacks on the waiver wire. So I was like,
they host the Chiefs.
Okay, yeah, I'm definitely going to play Aaron Rodgers. Chiefs are coming.
That's the Sunday night game,
now, dude. They're 0-2. They're not going to go.
Oh yeah, bro.
No, yeah, I'm not playing Russell. I might just cut him and pick somebody else up. So
that's
okay. So I'm surviving week 2 in Guillotine. You're in regular fantasy. How did your week 2 matchup go?
Oh, well, all that shit I talked about not picking up Justin Jefferson. Malik Neighbors went off this week, dude. He had like 160 yards, 2 touchdowns, 9 or 10 catches, like 34 points in fantasy. Honestly, as soon as I saw that and everybody else was just doing their job, I don't even need big games for everybody, but just do your job kind of thing. It was a pretty easy win. We'll throw it up on the board here. What the score finished at? I think I won by like almost 20 or 40, maybe. It was a pretty solid dub. So yeah, I should be okay this week. I am projected to win, but again, it's fantasy football, bro. Anything can freaking happen. So it was.
I'm so glad you mentioned the neighbor sitting right off the bat, because as soon as he scored and I saw he had that big one early on the other day, I texted.
That was sick, dude. Good touchdowns.
Nando already texted me too. I was like, all right, cool. So everyone's on the same page. We're paying attention. But hey, that's what happens. Remember when you bitch and complain about certain websites we use and those got better? So you bitch and complain about neighbors. Here he is. He's better.
Yeah.
So.
No, he went off. He went off. I liked it.
Neighbors,
I liked it.
You keep sucking.
Yeah, Neighbors, get better. 2 touchdowns. That's it. But I did also, I'm in that Survivor League. I started with basically the NFC West. I picked the Cardinals to beat the Saints. They did that. I apologize, but I did pick the Rams to beat the Titans last week. They did that. This week, I'm kind of nervous. I feel like I'm just nervous every week because it's a divisional game. Falcons, I'm choosing them to go into Carolina and take a dub. They have been just really good. The teams that they've played, they beat the Vikings pretty handily, and the Vikings looked good week 1. They barely lost to the Bucs, and we talk really high up on the Bucs. So I just think they're going to be able to do well. Michael Penix looks great, and if he doesn't look great, I mean, they have a freaking starting caliber quarterback in the backup of Kirk Cousins. So their defense is looking a lot better, especially since their head coach, I forgot his name at this moment, is a defensive guy. Thank you, Raheem Morris. And so I just think the offense seems to be clicking, and I think they go into Carolina and take this division division win.
I will say, a lot of the years I've done survivor pools, I've always heard the rule: never pick division games. So it's on you, sir. Good luck.
I have time to switch. So if you hear next week that I picked somebody different, then now you know. You didn't tell me this before, Corey. How am I supposed to know that?
I just thought about it right now as you were telling me your pick.
Well, it's not too late, so I still have time. Maybe I'll switch it up. That wraps it up here. Let us know in the comments below which game you're looking forward to this week.
And hit us up on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at RViewFTB. And, give us your upset of the week. Did the Titans make the upset list for you, or is there a better game or a better upset that we're looking for?
Not my list, no offense, but we'll see. I'm not saying it's not possible for sure.
Anything's possible. That's why they play the games.
Anything is possible. Appreciate everybody stopping by. I think it was always seeing things from RV from the bench. I'm Brendan.
I'm Corey. Like we always say, enjoy the sports until we talk again.
Peace.
This was a Sycamore Fourth Studios production.